It's April 2nd, 2025, and we are talking to Emily from The Groove.
Woo!
You want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, hey guys, I'm Emily from The Groove. It's a DIY Philly podcast about the music scene that's kind of expanding to more of the country and eventually the world. So that's me.
World domination upcoming. Good.
Cool.
Good.
So you want to tell us a little bit about how The Groove started?
Yeah, it's actually a funny story. It was a joke in the beginning. I'm a college student at Thomas Jefferson, and I came here and I got really scared because I didn't have any friends. And I was like, oh, we have a radio club, like, I like music, maybe I'll find some people there. And then the traditional radio club is normally you book bands and stuff at your school, and maybe there's like a live stream. Well, Jefferson doesn't have that. we're a podcast-based radio club, so I was like, oh, wouldn't it be cool if I like was pretentious and acted like my music taste was awesome, and I ran a podcast where I just talked about my music taste. And then I found The Haven, R.I.P. The Haven, and I went there in like October of 2022, and I fell in love with it, and I was like, oh my god, these bands are so good. My first show was Bristletooth, Friend, I'll literally never forget it, Bristletooth, Friend, Pawns, and Cheyenne's Kitchen, and Valentina. So it was like a crazy lineup, and it was a Halloween show, so it was like so much fun. And then I was like, oh my god, people need to hear these bands, and then I went and they were all on Spotify. So then I like formed the show into promoting DIY people, and now it's just taken over my life that way. So
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
How did you find out about The Haven? How do you wind up getting like involved in the scene originally?
Oh my god, it's like so crazy because like I forget half of the time about like my upbringing into the scene, but it's like wild. So Jefferson had live bands on campus. We had a battle of the bands with Valentina, Wallace Tonight, Win by Two, who disbanded, and a different band, and Wallace Tonight won, but Karina of Valentina is actually from my hometown. So I was like, oh my god, I had already known about them from high school. So I was like, oh my god, I've been following you for so long. And she was like, oh, we have like a couple of shows coming up, you should come. And then they were added last minute to the Haven show. And at that point I was like a Valentina groupie. So I was like, oh my god, I have to go. And then me and my roommate went at the time, and we were like kind of nervous because we were like, oh my god, we're going to these random people's house in like North Philly. Like, what if we die? And then we go there, and it was like the best experience of our lives. And then I literally went there every weekend. So that's how I found The Haven.
Cool.
Cool. Yeah, other than that first show, are there any particularly memorable shows from your house show experiences?
So many. There's so many good ones. But one I always think about is the old like Fear and Loathing house. Fear and Loathing is no longer a venue. But they had like a newer house, and then they had an older house. Their older house was like near Drexel's campus, like in West Philly area. It was this huge house. It was like so old school. It had this really cool staircase. The front porch was like a wraparound front porch. And everyone go out there and like smoke their cigarettes and like chill on the porch. And then instead of a basement, the show was held in the living room. And that was the first, I think it was one of my first shows that I went outside of the Haven to go to a show. And at this point I had known Bristletooth pretty well, and I loved their music, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to this show. And for some reason, like, the atmosphere of this show was just so good, and everyone by the end of it was like so tight with each other. Like, we all, like, a couple of us, a big group of us, like, went over to this other kid's apartment afterwards, and we played We're Not Really Strangers, and, like, I'm, like, with all these people I've never met before, and I'm telling them my deepest, darkest secrets. and like in the middle of the show, someone brought like 6 pizzas for everyone in the house. Randomly, it was just throwing out like free pizzas. There were so many crowd surfers that night. It was crazy. It was just such a good show and like a really good atmosphere that night, and I will literally never forget it. So yeah, shout out the old Fear and Loathing house. Miss that place so bad.
Awesome.
How do you get into booking and organizing shows?
So it's actually so funny because people have given me the ideas of to step forward with my show, because I always forget that I have free will and I can like do things. So I was like, someone was like, have you ever thought about booking shows? And I was like, no, like I don't know anything about that. And then shout out Gabby Ice of Jersey Show Scene. She reached out to me one day and was like, hey, we should book a show together at the new Fear and Loathing house, because at that point I was also friends with the owners of that house. I was like, that would be kind of fun. So then we put together a bill, started reaching out to people, asked Fear and Loathing if we could do it. They were like, yeah, go for it. Can I curse?
Yeah. You're good.
Okay, cool. I was like, before I say anything, that I'm not supposed to. But
they really said, yeah.
What? So, anyways, we start booking this show at Fear and Loathing, and it was just the first time that it worked. We capped the house. And I was like, oh my god, wait, this is actually like really fun. And then there's a venue near my school called the Falser Club, and on a whim, I was just like, let's see if I can book there. So I went, talked to them. I haven't really been in contact with them a lot, so I don't know if I'm like able to book there anymore. But they were like, hey, like, yeah, we'll give you a chance, whatever. So then I started booking shows there, and I was booking bands that I knew and I liked more. And like I would love to book more shows, but also since I'm in school, it's just very time consuming and I don't have the time to do that anymore. But after school, I would love to do anything booking wise, but that's how I kind of got there.
Cool. So then I guess like your time making the groove, how has the podcast changed over time?
So much. Like, oh my god. I listened to the first episode the other day and I was cringing so bad. I was like, this is not real. I was 18 when I started the show. Oh my god, that's scary. I was 18. I'm now 21. And I would just sit there and like stare at a wall and like talk into this microphone. And I was like, yeah, I really like Everlong by the Foo Fighters and like whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, guys, you should listen to this song because I think this song is good. And that year, I was like, I found The Haven, found the DIY scene, started playing those songs, then started interviewing bands because it was like, oh, now I have these connections, maybe I could just have on guests.
Mm-hmm.
Every season it has upgraded. So then the second season, I did more interviews where I was just interviewing people the hour long, and then I would do like 10-minute promotions in some of my episodes. And then that worked out pretty well, so I kept that. And then third season, I figured out how to make some money. And I bought a camera. So now there's video, and I'm on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
And I make like documentaries sometimes too. Like I'll go to shows and like film the whole thing and like make a little documentary, interview people on the street. Mm-hmm. But yeah, and then now I'm doing co-host episodes where people come on and make a playlist and we sit there and talk about their favorite people in the scene. Mm-hmm. So that's another upgrade. And then season 4, I don't know what's in store, but I usually figure it out over the summer.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so then I guess like how do you view the Groove's role in the scene? I know you've like made like a gig calendar and like you've been involved in like a bunch of different ways.
Yeah, I try. Like, I have a little bit of imposter syndrome because I feel like no one cares about like my show. So when you guys reached out to me, I was like, "Oh my god, this is so cool!" So thank you for having me again. This is so fun. But
Absolutely, yeah.
I really don't know. My goal for the Groove is to have it be a hub for everything going on in the scene. Like, oh, you want to find a new band? Here you go. Oh, these booking companies, like, they don't know who to, or like house venues, they don't know who to book for their show. Go to the Groove, you figure out who you can have. If you're like a show goer, you don't know when there's a show, you can go to my podcast, like my Instagram, and find out when people are playing and stuff. It's just like kind of, I want it to be like a central thing where everyone can go to and get all the information that they really are looking for or they want. Even people who don't care about shows or like bands at all, just a new song that they can like listen to. Just like that kind of stuff, because that's the type of thing that I kind of wish I had freshman year of college a little bit. Just because like I would listen to the same dad rock songs and think I was cool, and then I realized that there's all this underground shit going on that I loved, and I didn't know anything about it because no one talks about it enough. So I was like, what if I kind of take on that role a little bit? And I also just want it to promote other people. Like, I don't care about myself. I don't, like, the name of the Groove is cool, whatever. But if my podcast is ever able to bring other musicians, like, up and artists, that's the whole point of it. Like, I don't really care if I get famous. I care if I'm helping out other people and bringing them up with me, so.
Tying into that, how do you sort of view the interviews you do as fitting into this? Are you sort of viewing them as like a means of promotion or as a means of like doing history or journalism?
It used to be promotion, where it was just like the typical like, oh, I'm on Jimmy Fallon, and like MJ Lenderman's on Jimmy Fallon, let's talk about your newest album, like that is dropping right now. Like, that is how it used to be, and now it's kind of becoming more of like conversational instead of me like just asking questions. It's like, hey, what do you think about the scene? What do you think about indie as a genre or indie as a label, like stuff like that. And I think that's more interesting overall, because it's a conversation of like what these people think of the history of the scene and where it's going to go. But it's also an act of promotion, because now people know the name and they know this person exists and that they make music too, but they also can relate to the person that I'm interviewing, possibly, and create like a deeper connection that you wouldn't get elsewhere.
Yeah.
So.
Cool. Do you want to tell us a little bit about the Groove magazine that came out?
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. It was a school project.
Nice.
I decided that I do so many posters for the Groove and for like show posters and stuff, because I'm like a design major, so everyone thinks that I'm like good at that, and I'm like, guys, I don't know. I was like, I might as well take a graphic design minor and like possibly do this on the side for the rest of my life. And the final project we had to do was make a 5-page magazine. And I was like, wait, this would kind of be sick if I made it about my podcast. And then I was like promoting it in class. We had like a final crit, and I had to put my thing up, and they're like, what's the Groove? I'm like, oh guys, this is my podcast. A shameless plug real quick. But yeah, and it was crazy because it got like a lot of good like traction to it on Instagram, and I was just like, guys, like, I did this for class, like this is really funny. But I had just interviewed Bristol Tooth about their newest album, so I was like, okay, that'll be easy to write an article about. And I'm great friends with Sammy of Shark Earrings and Karina of Valentina, so I was like, oh, I can write about like scenes across state lines and like stuff like that. So it was literally just because I knew it was gonna be easy for me to do for class. And then I was like, you know what, this would be cool to like post. And everyone loved it. So I want to keep doing it, but I just don't have the time.
Yeah, it's very time consuming to make.
Oh my god,
zines,
it took so long, but it's whatever.
Yeah.
You guys do a lot. Like
Yeah.
that's like
Yeah.
I was looking at your page and I was like, oh, I wish I had the time to do like half of this. Like it's so cool.
Sadly, we also don't have the
Yeah,
time.
we only
Yeah.
only barely are scraping by.
Yeah, every issue we're like staying up super late the night before,
Yeah.
and we're like, next time we're never gonna be this late. And then like the next issue comes around, and it's like
Same
we're up
thing
at
again,
like
yeah,
3 a.m.
Yeah, I do the same thing. It's tough, but it's worth it in the end because it's super fun.
Yeah,
But it's just a lot of upkeep.
our little piece of hell twice a month.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you said you picked up a graphic design minor. You want to tell us about the like design and branding and aesthetic of the Groove a bit?
Oh yeah. So I am like obsessed with that 70s show. I've been obsessed with that 70s show since I was in 7th grade. I've probably seen the show like 10 times all the way through. I claim to be Donna Pinciotti, like she's my alter ego. Like I love her so bad. And it's really funny because the more I go on in life, the more I end up like her. She literally had a radio show and like everything. Like it's so funny. And I didn't even plan that, guys, I promise. But I'm obsessed with that show. And I just give like a 70s vibe to myself, like kind of the way I wear my hair. I wear bell bottoms all the time. I'm just like, people are always like, oh my god, like old soul, whatever.
Yeah.
I get that a lot.
I think I see her in the background.
Yeah, she's
There
right
she is.
there, actually. And then like Almost Famous, love that movie.
Yeah.
That's also another music journalist like
Uh-huh.
thing going on there. So love, like it's just my whole life has kind of been like forming the Groove low-key. And I didn't think about that until I was on a plane and the free movie was Almost Famous and I watched it and I was like, whoa. I watched this in 6th grade and like my life has kind of led to sort of the same deal.
It's just
like
become
kind
that.
of crazy. But I was like, I really love the color orange. I really love the color purple. And then those flowers from that 70s show were like in my brain all the time. So then I just made it like that. And as I've gone, I wanted to be more sophisticated.
Mm-hmm.
So I've made it more sophisticated, but kept the same flowery and like old school, like tattered vibe, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And now I want it to be perceived more as like a music magazine. So it has like that physical aspect along with the audio, radio type thing. But yeah, that's the branding.
Cool.
Cool. I think I want to talk in a like a slightly more open-ended way now about like the scene in general.
Oh yeah.
And like your perception of it and sort of like I guess to start, how have things in the scene changed since you first got involved several years ago?
It's crazy because I can't claim to be like a scene kid because like yeah, I'm in it and I do a lot of stuff for it, but I haven't been in it like nearly as long as so many other people. Been in it for 3 years, I guess. But it's changed astronomically since I've been in it, which is, it's sad, kind of. Like, I just watch it dwindle down more and more over time, and it's just like, this has been such a huge foundation for so many musicians, like Modern Baseball, Mannequin Pussy, like they all came from the same area, and look at them now. And the Philly scene is less of a house show thing anymore. It's moving towards the New York bar scene type thing, where it's like Ortlieb's is where you want to go, Johnny Brenda's is where you want to go. Like, those are the places where you want to get booked, because house venues are just not that big anymore. Like, I will say this, some people disagree with me, the death of the Haven kind of killed the house scene a little bit, because the Haven was bumping for like every week they would have a fire bill and everyone knew that it was going to be a good show and everyone would go to the Haven. And then because of the Haven, it would cap all the time. Everyone would go to the other house shows that were going on because they wanted to see people play.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying that it's not busy still, because it is, but we just lost the Underworld.
Yeah.
We just lost,
Coming up,
like, yeah, we lost Fear and Loathing. We lost reoccurring house venues. Now the house venues kind of don't have shows as often, so it's like you never really know where to go.
Mm-hmm.
And they're house venues you've never heard of, which is really scary to some people because they're not familiar with it. So,
yeah.
And now it's like, to get into the bar scene, you already have to have that build up of a following to even get booked.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's just unfair, like, now, because there's so many bands that are good, but people have never heard of them before, so they're just not getting as many shows. So it's changed astronomically, and I also think people have also found a lot of business opportunities in the scene too, with booking and managing, and also just venues in general, of how to make money off of the scene instead of like the industry. So it's becoming more of a business-esque thing instead of, hey, let's just promote each other and like build each other up. Now everyone's looking for money opportunities, which isn't true for everyone, but it is a huge switch that I'm noticing, and a lot of musicians are noticing too, because people are really struggling to find shows now, especially if they're a newer band.
Yeah.
Yeah, do you have a sense, like, I mean, obviously, like, you know, a couple of large venues close, and that's going to have a large impact, but do you think there's, like, anything deeper driving the, like, sort of shrinking in the size of the house show portion of the scene?
I think it's the stigma, for sure, for the legal aspects. Like, why are house venues getting shut down and a frat around the corner can go on and be completely fine? Like, I'm sorry, in any circumstance, the frat is going to be more dangerous than the house show. Period, end of story. Like, they got jungle juice, they got all this other stuff, people are getting SA'd left and right, and it's like, I also think the sexual assault issue might also have a factor in it, but I haven't heard much about that a lot. But there have been venues that we have lost because of those issues as well. And it just makes it really sad, because this is supposed to be a good community where people can feel comfortable to, like, make art and just be creative in general. And then things like that happen, and then just also the stigma that musicians and, like, punk kids have been fighting for generations, of the fact that we're bad and we're rowdy and, like, everything's gonna go wrong if you let this band play in your neighbor's basement. Like, it's just ridiculous. Like, also the noise complaints in Glassboro, like, come on. The Glassboro scene is literally deteriorating because people around them just can't listen to a drum beat. Like, it's really, it's aggravating, but I think that's why it's shrinking a little bit too.
Yeah, like I've heard a number of people talking about, like, a lot of venues closing and just, like, the number of venues, like, declining. Do you have a sense, like, at like the peak of the Haven or whatever, like, do you have a sense of about how many venues ish there were? Like, I know that's, like, a hard thing to guess, but, like,
there were so many. Like, when the Haven was happening, there were so many venues, and it was like, because I remember House Show Philly was also active at that time, and, like, she was just pumping out flyers every week, and then she would be like, I'm sorry, but that's all the flyers I can put out, and her DMs were constantly full of just show after show after show after show, and it was like, oh, if this one capped, you knew you could go somewhere else. Like, and you're walking around, you're wandering the streets, it's not frat kids, it's house show kids, like, looking for shows to go to. And that's how Glassboro was too, and it's not like that anymore. Like, I will own up to the fact that I haven't gone to a house show in a while. Like, I don't know the venues. I don't know some of the bands anymore either. Because all the ones that I like, for a while I wasn't 21, so I couldn't see the ones that I know because they were all playing at bars.
Yeah.
So I was like, guys, like, go back to a basement. I want to see you. But yeah, there were so many. I can't really give a number because it's just like insane. But now it's like, it's definitely astronomically less than it used to be. And it's just so upsetting. And like, maybe it's not less and it's just that the advertising isn't there this time. Like, I don't know.
I know some of it might be also like, I don't know, just a theory, who knows, but like that, like, I know both in North Philly and then also to some extent like in West Philly, there were so many houses right next to each other. So like, you know, you had the Underworld, you had the Stoop, you had like Groovy Air, like all right there. And then like in West, you had like Luigi's Mansion and then like Lucky 8 across the street. And then like, what else is there? I feel there's another one right there
House
too.
Castle.
House Castle. And so like, if you went to a show and it capped, like the next house show to go to was 3 doors down or like something like that. And so like, whereas like I feel like a lot of times like a lot of the like North Philly venues have shut down, and so it's like we live in West, and it's like if we're gonna go to a North Philly show, like we're like taking SEPTA to North Philly, and then like if that show caps, it's like turn around and go back. Like, you know what I mean? And like,
there's like nowhere else to go. It does suck. Yeah, like that whole strip where like the Underworld and everything was, where Earth Day Fest is like normally held. Like that is like ideal show. Like and like I am so glad that I got to experience it when it was like low key at its peak. Because that was so much fun, but now it's like gone. And people, that community, and that's like just, it's just not there anymore, and it's very, very upsetting. And we gotta bring it back. I don't know how. Someone's gotta bring it back. Maybe us together, we can do it.
Besides the Haven, are there other venues now deceased that you used to go to a lot?
Fear and Loathing. I mentioned them before. Underworld, R.I.P. Toon Lagoon. Oh my god. Toon Lagoon in Glassboro was our last hope. No, I'm kidding. They were so good. Like, Sammy Cantor and Max Adams of Shark Earrings ran Toon Lagoon. And I would sleep on their couch all the time because sophomore year, which was the year after the Haven closed, Toon Lagoon was the spot. Like, that was the venue to go to. Like, I said this to them and I will forever say it. Toon Lagoon was the Haven of Glassboro, like 100%. They had all the good bands. You always knew it was going to be a good show. The people running it were reliable. The crowd that always came, like the regulars, they were so fun. So it was like, it was creating that same community in Toon Lagoon as I found in the Haven. And then Toon Lagoon closed. And I was like, oh my god. And I won't get into like the details of why it closed because that's like personal to whatever. But I was just like, it was just another issue of noise complaints and just like stigmas. And it's like, why is it so bad that people are having fun, like, and being safe and like spreading a good thing? Like, it makes me so mad. Like, I get so angry. But Toon Lagoon was a really hard hit because after Toon Lagoon shut, I like haven't really gone to shows as often as I used to. Like, I haven't found a spot and it just sucks.
What is your recipe for a good show?
Ooh, that's a good question. I like that one. I'm taking notes mentally. A recipe for a good show. It doesn't even have to be good music, like, genuinely. Like, if the bands are fun and you know they're having a good time, everyone's having a good time. Like, the audience, also, if the audience is having a good time and, like, people are talking to each other, they're meeting new friends, like, people are moshing, people are dancing, like everyone's just chatting it up. Like I don't play music. I just stand in the crowd, but the crowd is always a part of the performance for me. Like, I don't care if your band sucks, if you're offbeat, like literally don't care. If you're moving around on stage, like Friend, for example, when Friend performs, I'm having the time of my freaking life. Like, they are so fun to watch, and they're running around on stage. Autumn's like laying on the ground, and then Josh is like pretending to like beat the shit out of Autumn with his guitar, and it's like, then the whole crowd just gets like riled up, and then everyone's like picking each other up in the pit, or they're just like holding hands and like dancing. Like, that's a good show. Like, that is a good show. And then like after the show, everyone goes upstairs, and then you're like, oh my god, I saw you in the pit, like, you're fun. And then you're able to, like, everyone's just, vibes are high, everyone wants to talk to everyone. And it's also fun when the bands come up to you too and like talk to you, and then you're like, oh my god, I just hung out with them last night, like at the show. Like, when I was a freshman, I was freaking out. I was like starstruck by anyone who picked up a guitar. I was like, oh my god, they're talking to me, like, this is crazy. And then you go out back and you're like sharing a beer with like the lead singer, or like some random dude who like helped you up because you fell when someone pushed you. Like, it's just so fun. Like, that's a good show, and I haven't seen one of those in so long, and I need one so bad. What would you guys say is your, like, a good show for you?
We're working on it. So, like, we run a venue in West, and like a lot of our motivation to do that was like I felt like house shows were like often so like kind of and I had plenty of good house shows that were like so crazy loud, but like so crazy loud, and then there's like nowhere to like, it's not like, oh, there's nowhere to not be loud, but like I felt like it was like you could be downstairs, and it was like sometimes it wasn't even like everyone's like dancing or moshing or whatever. It was just like, wow, there's like a lot of sound coming my direction, you know, and everybody's just kind of like sitting around, like, you know, and then people like go upstairs and leave immediately. And so like we were like, okay, we want a venue that like people like want to hang out in. And so like our upstairs is like, we tried to make our upstairs like as cozy, homey as possible, so that like people feel like they can like hang out. And our house is like really great for house shows. Like we moved in here knowing we were going to be a venue, so we were able to kind of like pick like a house that would fit. So like we have like a little like back area with like a picnic table, we have a porch, and like, and people can like go out front or out back or hang out on the main floor, and it's like cozy. It feels like we live there, you know. Like I feel like sometimes you walk into like, this is no disrespect to like a punk house, but like sometimes you walk into a punk house and you're like, I'm not sure if I want to touch anything here. Yeah. Like, you know, and you know, there's some great nights that have happened in punk houses, but like we wanted somewhere that like you'd be like, okay, like I can sit here and I can sit for like a long time. Like there's like kind of a comfort in the space. And then like, you know, we try to like book good bands, like, you know, we do the normal things too. But that was like one of our main priorities, like to make a space where people could hang out in addition to like have good music.
The other aspect of that is also like, I oftentimes going to like house shows at some places, at least this was my experience when I first started going to house shows, like if you didn't know anybody in a band and you didn't know, you know, the people who were involved with the venue or anything, like it's sort of like difficult to break into the like community, and so we wanted to like try to create a space and like create an atmosphere at the shows where like it's easy for people to like meet the bands, like know who's running the venue and talk to them and just like hang out and meet each other, basically, like maybe a little less like who do I talk to here.
There definitely were a few like awkward house shows, like my first house shows that I went to, and like I don't know if it's like I'm like somewhat introverted, like not like aggressively, but I'm like definitely not an extrovert. And like I would like go to a show and I would like stand around, watch the bands, and then I'd be like, go home, and then I'd be like, I didn't talk to anybody. What did I do? And so like trying to like make a space where like it's like super easy for like you to end up talking to people, making new friends, like that type of thing.
Yeah, I think it's definitely, like, I can't even imagine, like, trying to curate a vibe for a space. Like, I can't even imagine. Especially when it's people you can't, like, know how people are going to react and, like, do things. But for, like, advice of, like, what I remember from, like, Toon Lagoon and, like, the Haven, like, having that person, like, I'm sure you guys sit there and like take the money and like mark the hands and stuff like that. Like that's always fun because then you get to like create that banter with like the owner. But then there's also a different like balance that you have to have from like having it so cozy and stuff that people might want to stay there for so long instead of like going and watching the bands that they came here for. So like Fear and Loathing was kind of cool because it was so small, like their newer one. It was so small and there was nowhere to sit, so everyone had to stand, and you're like forced to talk to people. Like you literally could not talk to like you couldn't stand there and be quiet because there was just nowhere to go. But then in Toon Lagoon, it was kind of the same way where it was like their hallways were so small that you were like forced to talk to people. But the Haven, the whole place was the stage. So you really were forced to talk to people unless you wanted to go outside and get away from everyone. So it's like kind of like I always wish that there was like a place for me to sit because my back hurts. Like I'm like I need a couch and there's no couch. And then like I think having a semi cozy little spot is good, but then having like less seating than what you're expecting is probably better. Because then people are forced to walk around, they're forced to like mingle, forced to go downstairs and see the band. Like, it is a weird balance, and I can't even imagine. Like, I would struggle so bad. But I'm sure you guys are gonna get it good, and I want to see the venue now. I want to come.
Yeah, you should come by. We've got Bristol Tooth is playing here in a couple weeks.
No way.
Yeah. I think they're playing like April 12th.
You have it on the calendar?
No, we don't.
No,
not up here. It's downstairs.
It's got to be the 12th.
I think it's on the 12th.
It's got to be the 12th, yeah.
Okay.
So.
It's got to be the 12th. That's the Monday.
Yeah. No, there are a couple. Yeah, that is the one day that's not right. Yeah, it's the 12th. That show was newer than the calendar.
Yes.
Yeah. So. Cool. So
yeah, I'm tight with them. I'd probably have already planned to go to that one, but I just like didn't know it was your place.
It's at our house.
Yep.
That's sick.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. So then.
I guess like sort of wrapping up stuff. What are your plans for what's coming up next for the Groove?
Oh my. I don't even know. I do this thing where in the summer I don't make any content at all. I just like kind of post on Instagram and do like stupid stuff, but in the background I'm like plotting and scheming like what am I gonna do next. So I have so many ideas. I have a little notes app that has all of my ideas. Maybe I'll share some. Let me pull them up. But I say that I have all these ideas, and then I'm like, when am I gonna do any of this? I have no time ever. Yeah. But yeah, so this is like my notes of all my ideas that I have in the future. It's very long. I want to start doing more documentaries for sure. I want to do like kind of like what you guys are doing, but more like video based, maybe like follow a band like through their stuff. I want to do stuff where I go and see people's, like, have you ever seen those tour bus tours on YouTube? They like find people who are on tour and they're like, show us your tour bus, and then they like take them around. There's one with Sweet Pill and they have like a bus and it's so cool. But I want to do that with practice spaces. I want to be like, show us your practice space. More of like short content for
Mhm.
like reels and stuff, because that's what really pushes you to the top, sort of. Oh geez, artist highlight of the month, probably. People that I'm like, oh hey, you guys should check this person out, do a little deep dive. Oh geez, I want to do a Groove Unplugged, which is like a second podcast where it's like we talk about famous musicians, and like I have musicians from the scene and they're like, yeah, I'm listening to this right now, and then we like get in debates like Kendrick versus Drake, like more of like mainstream content, so people aren't really afraid to like dive into the groove, and then that's like their entry level. And oh hey, she's got more stuff. I just literally have so many things. I could go on for hours. I want to do carpool karaoke like so bad. I've been sitting on that for like 2 years now. I just don't know how I'm gonna do it, but when I figure it out, it's gonna be crazy.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Like that would be so fun. I just pick up a band, we like drive around.
Yeah,
and,
that
like,
would be
play
awesome.
That's a really, really good idea. I would watch that.
Yeah, right? Like it would be so fun. I got that idea. This is shout out to a friend, but I got that idea from their song "This Dog Don't Bite," because I love that song. And I think it was like 2 summers ago, or maybe, yeah, it was 2 summers ago. I was listening to it in my car, and there's like a part, like, they say the lyric, and then there's like a little backing voice. And I was like, what if someone else was in my car right now and they knew the lyrics, and I said this part and they said that part? And I was like picturing it in my head. I was like, what if Friend was in the car? And I was like, oh my god, carpool karaoke.
And then it all came together.
It was the best idea I've ever had. So I really want to do that. Don't know when that's going to happen, but stay tuned for Groove Carpool Karaoke one day. Yeah. And I also want to get a team together because I'm sick of doing this stuff myself. So
Yeah.
if anyone's interested, the group is open for employment.
Yeah. Awesome.
Cool. Yeah. Let's see. I guess is there anything else that you want to say, want to include, wish we'd asked you about, anything like that?
Not really. I guess I could just be like a little closing statement.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I guess for like the scene to just like bring back the old mentality a little bit. Like we're in this together, and like why are we kind of pushing against each other? Like we're supposed to be upbringing, like bringing each other up alongside each other. Like that's the whole point of this. Everyone's a struggling musician. Times are really hard right now in the world. And the last thing we want to do is stress out because we can't get a gig, or someone can't pay rent because they weren't able to get paid at a gig or something. Like this is just not, it's not cool the way the world is right now. So why not be nicer to each other and care about the art and the music and collaboration, because that's what makes the world go around. But yeah, stay groovy too.
Stay groovy.
Well, thank you so much for talking to us.
Of course.
Yeah.
This was so much fun. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It's great to talk to you.